What is going on, everyone? Platinum Beast coming at you with yet another video. Today we're going to be doing a reaction to my latest video titled Silver Stacking Has Become a Fad. I wanted to do a reaction video to the comments in the comment section because I got a lot of feedback, a lot of it not that good, and I want to clarify some things. And I want to just kind of respond to some of you all's comments because it would appear as though perhaps one or two of you all maybe didn't watch the whole video or misunderstood. Either way, no harm, no foul. I love all of you people. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so I got a lot of feedback on my most recent video, and I've never done a reaction video to the comments in any of my previous videos. I do the Platinum Beast Answer Series weekly, but that is on purpose. This is kind of impromptu, but I wanted to respond to some of the comments that I got because a lot of you all think that I just think that silver is worthless or perhaps going to go nowhere or is just not even worth your time. And that's not the case at all, right? I stack silver. I have plenty of it, right? I stack it. I like it. I realize it is what it is, but I see it for what it is. And I don't exactly see it for what a lot of people today see it for, right? I'm a pre-2020 stacker and I know how this stuff works, right? And so we're going to go ahead and get into the comments that you all left for me on yesterday's video. So the recording of this video is at about 2:30 on Tuesday. So if your comment is after 2:30 on Tuesday, it won't be in this video. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that right now. But we're going to go ahead and dive right into these comments to see what you all said, because I wanted to just kind of clarify some things because it seemed like there were some questions, some thoughts, some ideas. Some people got the wrong idea from the video, and I want to make sure that you all, my viewers, understand that what my view is. So let's dive right in, shall we? So up first, we've got Human says, I just exchanged a bunch of silver for gold. I bought the silver at 16, so it worked out pretty well. That's a solid play, my friend. That's a solid deal. I don't doubt you at all for doing that, because that's probably what I would do as well if I was in your situation. The premiums on gold are lower or about average, and the premiums on silver are high, so you might as well sell, take advantage of some of those high prices, and trade into gold. That's not a bad play at all. Up next, we have Mr. Robert Burke says, silver is a fad. It has only been used as money for all of human history and has more industrial uses than any other metal on the planet. Totally a fad. So I understand what is trying to be said in this comment. Basically, Mr. Robert Burke, and I don't blame you for your comment, but you're basically telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and it's not just simply a fad that's going to come and go. So I believe that. I believe it's not a fad that's just going to come and go. I don't think it's here and then it'll be gone tomorrow, so to speak. But what I think is the fad side of things is it is currently a fad in the sense that it is very, very popular to be stacking silver, right? If I go back to when I started stacking silver a few years back, it wasn't that popular. In fact, no one liked silver. No one stacked silver. No one cared about silver. Everyone thought, oh, that's pointless, right? Why would I stack silver? There's no point. Most of those individuals didn't stack anything back in the day. Now there's a lot of new people stacking silver that have never stacked silver before, and I think a lot of people have jumped onto stacking silver because of what they've heard in various media outlets. And so that's what I mean by fad, right? It's kind of like when certain trends come back in style, like vintage and stuff, young people like to take what was once a fad and recreate it and create a new fad and bring it back, right? The boys are back in town, right? You know, it's kind of like when you think about like a rock band, right? Like AC/DC. They had a tour back when I was in high school, and that was way past the 80s or 70s, whichever era they were from. And people went and heard them, and they became somewhat popular again for the young people, right? It was mostly old people at that time, or older people, who really appreciated that music. But young people started to get into it because they were going on tour again, right? But they're not touring right now, and the hype around AC/DC has died a little bit. Now, AC/DC is still a popular band, right? People still like their music. I like their music, right? And I wasn't even alive during the original formation of the band, but I like their music. I listen to it occasionally, but it's not as popular as it was in the 80s, and it's also not as popular as it was when they were on tour and making some new music and things like that. So by the term fad, what I mean is it's super popular to be stacking right now, and at some point it won't be popular anymore. It will still occur. People will still stack silver, including myself, but at some point it won't be as popular as it is right now. And so that's all I was trying to get across as far as calling silver a fad or saying it is a current fad, because it is. A lot of people are jumping onto it because they heard about it and they see that everyone else is, and they're, buying into this idea that is being spread. So that's really what I meant by fad. I know silver's been used as money for all of human history, has industrial uses. I know all that stuff. Trust me, I know that, and that's why I stack it, because I do see the value going up over time. I just don't see it being influenced by a bunch of people in their basements buying up all of the dealers' inventory and spreading news online about what they think is going to happen with silver. One thing about precious metals is you really never know where it's going to go, right? In my opinion, it goes up over time, and it has, ever since the dawn of time, gone up. But it doesn't just shoot up because a bunch of people are buying it, or shoot up because a bunch of people tell you to buy it, right? It just goes up naturally, right? That's the whole point. But I still appreciate your comment nonetheless, my friend. And I hope you stick around and comment on some more of my videos. But up next, we have Mr. Frank Benke says, several ounces of silver will equal an ounce of platinum one day easily. Well, I mean, I can appreciate your feeling that way. I just don't know if I necessarily agree quite as much. I think silver and platinum are a little bit more related than people give them credit for. They're both very industrial metals. People will tell you all day platinum is only good because it's used in cars. It's just simply not true. It has many other industrial uses, and those industrial uses continue to multiply year in and year out. They continue to need more and more platinum, and they continue to expand those industrial uses and the industries in which it is used, so much so that once cars fully go electric or whatever, the other industries will have taken over and needed that platinum that was used for cars. So I don't see the price being influenced too heavily if cars do go away from using platinum. But as far as several ounces of silver equaling 1 ounce of platinum, I don't see a reason as to why that would even be. There's obviously an exponentially lot more silver in the ground and a lot more silver above ground than there is platinum. And what it boils down to with precious metals is a lot of it has to do with availability, right? Platinum is one of the rarest metals on earth. It's more rare than gold. It's more rare than silver. Now, you're going to tell me that platinum is worth less than gold, and yes, that is true. However, as far as silver equaling a few ounces of silver equaling an ounce of platinum, well, I mean, I'm not so sure. Because if that were the case, then a few more ounces of silver would equal an ounce of gold right now. And I don't really see that happening unless all the metals really just go up as a whole, right? Because of silver's availability and it not being as rare as platinum, if silver goes up to that level, I see platinum going up a substantial amount as well, if that were to happen. But that's just me, and that's just my thoughts. But thank you, my friend. I really appreciate your comment nonetheless, and I appreciate everyone's comment, whether they are agreeing or disagreeing with what I am saying. I always appreciate you all's feedback and you all's thoughts and opinions on the topics I discuss. Mr. General Stack says, been a fad for 6,000 years. Yes. Well, again, I mentioned this in a comment earlier, but that word fad, right? I guess the disconnect between you guys and me, as far as what we think of as a fad, we think of fads going away and never coming back. And I can see why it might seem confusing to some, me using the term fad. However, this fad, what I'm referencing mostly is how it is super popular right now, right? I don't think it will ever go away, right? You said it's been a fad for 6,000 years, and it'll be a fad for 6,000 more years. It'll be a fad forever. If you think of a fad as being something that just simply exists and never goes away, but when I think of a fad, I think of something that is overly popular at the current time and at some point will not be as popular, if that makes sense. So you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, like my example with the rock bands, right? Rock bands from the 80s and 70s and stuff, that music will never go away. That music will be popular forever, right? Or at least that's how it feels. However, it's just not as popular as it was when it first came out, right? People know it exists. People have heard all the songs, and there's nothing new, right? Because there's nothing new, if they're feeling in the mood for it, they'll throw it on the stereo or iPhone or whatever. But if they're not, they won't, right? Because it's just kind of one of those things that just kind of, you pull it out every now and then, but at the end of the day, it's just not what's new and trendy, I suppose. So it's just not going to be played as much. You can think of it like this. AC/DC, excellent rock band, excellent music. You know, a lot of people like them. But when you compare them to what's popular right now, say, you know, rappers or country singers or whatever, whoever's making music right now. Florida Georgia Line is a popular country band. A lot of the old-time country listeners don't like Florida Georgia Line because of the difference in their music. However, they're the most popular. So if you go on iTunes right now and you see who's the most popular selling country musician, it's not going to be Hank Williams Jr., right? It's going to be, you know, Florida Georgia Line or who's that guy? I forget who it is. I forget a lot of things. But if you take a look at the top 100 songs on iTunes or the Billboard Top 100, none of them are going to be music from the old age that everyone considers just the golden age of music, right? None of the songs on those top 100 are going to be that. Now, those songs will probably last forever as long as someone's willing to listen to them and if they're good enough, but they won't be as popular as they were when they first came out. So that's the point I'm trying to get with this fad thing, is it's super popular right now. It won't be that popular forever. It just won't. It's happened in the past, it'll happen today, and tomorrow, who knows? It won't be as popular. Will it exist? Yes. Will people still stack? Yes, but it's just not going to have its popularity attached to it. But that's just my thoughts, General Stack. I really appreciate your comment, and I always appreciate seeing you comment on my videos, my friend. Up next, we have Tom Chase. If it's a fad, then why did you have a lot of silver to flip into platinum? Platinum pumping to flip. Platinum pumping? No, I never want to be seen as a platinum pumper. I just felt that platinum was more undervalued at the time last year, and so that's why I flipped it into platinum. And it ended up benefiting me in the long haul because platinum ended up going up, whereas silver didn't go up nearly as much in that same time frame. So I ended up in the positive on that end, but I never want to be seen as like a platinum pumper. I know platinum's not for everyone. I have a lot of viewers who don't like platinum and don't stack platinum, but they still view my channel nonetheless because they just, I guess, enjoy my creativity or hearing me talk or what have you. But overall, I definitely don't want to seem like a platinum pumper on this channel. I just like sharing my thoughts, opinions, and news articles and things like that I find interesting. And I let my viewers decide for themselves. And that's what I want at the end of the day, is for my viewers to decide for themselves. If you think that this is not a fad, right, that's totally okay. And you can go out and you can buy up all the silver you can possibly buy with every dollar you have, and you might end up actually winning in the long run. I mean, I might be completely wrong, right, on a lot of my views on silver. That's totally fine, and that's totally cool if you want to do that. I was just sharing my opinion on it being a fad. And again, a fad is something that is temporary, Silver is forever, but a fad is temporary. Silver is a fad, or in a fad right now, but it won't be forever, in my opinion. But the metal itself will last forever, and it will continue to increase in value along with the price of pretty much everything in the world, right? Cars go up in cost, at least. They don't go up in value once you buy them, but they go up in cost. You know, groceries go up in cost, gas goes up in cost, all these things go up in cost. The cost of a house, everything goes up in cost over time, and I think silver goes along with that. And that's how I think silver really should be looked at. I don't think it should be looked at as nearly as a speculative play as some people give it. Now, it could go up because of its industrial value, but I look more towards the inflationary value. But that's just me. Up next, I got Mr. Bob. Mr. Good Old Bob says, the only silver I'm buying is foreign junk silver for my collection. Well, that's super awesome, my friend. Foreign junk is some of the coolest silver you can get. And I appreciate your comment. And just, you always leave nice comments, my friend. So I always appreciate that. Mr. Bricktown Silver is up next. He says, that is a risk we all take and we need to consider it. Yes, indeed. That's a great comment, Bricktown. I really appreciate that. If y'all haven't checked out Bricktown Silver, go check him out. He's got a cool channel. It's super fun. Love watching Bricktown. But that's a great comment, and I really, really love how you put it. That is a risk we all take, and we need to consider it. So you're not necessarily agreeing with me. You're not disagreeing with me. You're just admitting that it is a risk, that it isn't a fad. And I think it's a fad. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it will last forever. I don't think stacking silver is bad all in and of itself. If you really broke down my video that I posted and watched it, you will see that I explained how you need to be getting into this for the long haul, not for the temporary fad that it's in. And that's what I was trying to explain, is if you're buying right now because everyone else is buying and you're listening to everyone else's advice and you're making your own financial decisions based solely on everyone else's advice, you're not going to end up in a happy place. You need to do your own research and realize how silver works and how it has worked for that 6,000 years, right? And how it's probably going to work the same way for the next 6,000 years. That's just my thoughts and opinions. So buy, stack, hold until you can't hold no more, basically. But that's just my opinion and that's just my thoughts on the matter. Thank you, Bricktown, though. I really appreciate your comment. Up next, we got Dissident Aggressor. Dissident Aggressor says, without rebutting your whole video, I will say silver will always be more popular than platinum. Also, what you're saying may have been true in 1982 when the national debt had just exceeded 1 trillion, but it's not true today. So I'm not exactly sure which part of the video you're referencing here, Dissident, but I can agree silver will always be more popular than platinum. I think a lot of that stems from its availability and its affordability. Platinum is a very expensive metal and it has a lot of speculation attached to it. So a lot of people don't want to put that much money into a speculative asset, and I totally understand that, and I get that, and I think that has a lot to do with why silver will remain more popular than platinum. As far as 1982 with the national debt, it just exceeded 1 trillion, but it's not true today. Again, I'm not exactly sure which part of my video you are referencing. However, you know, the debt just keeps getting worse. And I think that will drive the price of silver up, but I think it'll drive the price of everything up, realistically. If we really want to get down to it, the price of everything will probably go up as the dollar continues to be devalued. So I would say that would be the same for silver, gold, and platinum. But that's just my take and my opinion. Again, I'm not exactly sure which part of the video you're referencing, but I appreciate your comment nonetheless. And I appreciate you as a fellow channel creator. Up next, we have eSkater. Doesn't Mike Baloney say that the herd rushes in on the end and just gets slaughtered? I mean, that's very true. You know, a lot of people are jumping into this stuff without even knowing what they're doing, right? They're jumping into stacking silver and they have no idea what silver is or how it works, right? And that's part of the fad aspect that I was trying to explain in that video. Was it's currently in a fad. It's super popular to be stacking silver, and the fad won't last forever. Silver will last forever. Stacking will last forever, but the fad won't. And that's the point I was trying to get across. But thank you for your comment, my friend. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to more comments from you. Up next, we have Mr. Dustin Myers. Says, I can see what you're saying. Think if people stick with generic and a couple limited runs, it'll be okay if the price is lower. To be honest, when the price lowers, you buy more, not sell. To me, silver and gold is a 401k that I can touch. I agree wholeheartedly. There's nothing really wrong with buying silver right now. I think it's overpriced, and I think that has a lot to do with the fad aspect. However, you're right. If the price went down, buy more. I mean, realistically, stacking is, I've said it a million times on this channel, a long-term game, and you want to be stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking and just stacking until you're an old man and you either want to sell it and travel the world, give it to your kids, or do whatever you really want to do. But it should be a long-term game, and at the end of the day, just stack, right? Don't sell if you are trying to get into silver, right? Or gold or platinum. But great comment, Dustin Myers. I really appreciate it, my friend. Up next, we've got Chris in SoCal. Show me the platinum. I definitely agree. There is so much hype. Yes, for sure. Lots of hype around silver. That's currently why it's in a fad, is because all of the hype. Who's someone popular? Katy Perry. If Katy Perry came out and said, buy a bunch of copper, I get the feeling a bunch of people would buy a bunch of copper. Now, I believe in copper to an extent. I think it will go up in value even. I'll even say that, being the Platinum Beast. However, if Katy Perry says it, it's definitely going to go up. But is it going to remain in that state of popularity? No, because eventually she's not going to talk about it anymore, and it just won't be as popular. And people that bought solely because Katy Perry said buy it are going to be like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this now? And they're just going to take a little bit of a loss probably, or something along those lines. But great comment nonetheless, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have AZ Welke. Usually in a bull market for precious metals, silver outperforms gold, as it has been in the last year. You can look back at the history and you will see it as well. Interesting stuff. Silver outperforms gold. I don't know that I would say silver is outperforming gold, though. I'd have to look at the exact percentages of overall spot price increase. That's a tough one. Because gold at $1,900 about, and silver at about $28. I guess silver's gone up about $10 in the past year and a few months, and gold's gone up about $400. Obviously, you have to look at the percentages, not just the number. Yeah, I guess silver, you could say that it has outperformed gold quite a bit. That is interesting stuff. I think really all the precious metals are kind of in a bull market at the current time, but that's an interesting point you make, my friend. I'll have to dig more into that. That's interesting. Now, it would also be interesting to see, once the bull market ends, what precious metal holds the top, right? Because in March, we saw silver tank, we saw platinum tank, but we saw gold hold pretty strong at 1,500, and it wasn't really that much higher before that, if at all. So that's an interesting point as well. But thank you for your comment, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Mr. B Constitutional saying right doesn't necessarily mean I agree. Good to get the opinion of an obvious elitist, so opinions. I'm not exactly sure what your comment means, my friend, saying right. I say right. Well, I mean, I guess you are right when I say right. But I don't know. I just like sharing my thoughts on my channel, you know? And I say, and that's pretty much the same thing as saying right. It is what it is, my friend. It is what it is. But good to get I don't really consider myself an elitist. I don't ever claim to know more than anyone else. I just like to share my opinions on different topics, mostly revolving around precious metals. But I appreciate your comment nonetheless, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Mr. Benny Benny. Says, I really love that silver fish for some reason. I don't know why. It is pretty cool, right? Cool little 2-ounce silver fishy. I actually won this in a giveaway from a fellow YouTuber known as Inefficient Stacker. And this is a very cool little addition to the stack. It's a pretty neat little bar we got right there. But thank you for your comment, my friend. I really appreciate that. Up next, we have Aloha Stacker. Says, right now, most silver I'm buying is collector stuff. I really want collector stuff I really want. And any silver I buy for stacking, I look for the best prices. And that's a solid approach to take, my friend. You know, make stocking what you want, right? That's really what it should be at the end of the day. If you want to stack just slabbed Morgans, right? That's totally cool because that's what you want. And I think everyone should really do what they want. Don't listen to me and just do what I do because you think I might know more than you. I probably don't. But that's a great approach and a great comment, my friend. I really appreciate it. Aloha's a great guy too. Go check out his channel if you have not. Up next, we have Mr. Cash and Coins. Mr. Cash and Coins says, silver is an affordable precious metal. It is easy to buy and stack. Try stacking 10 ounces of gold or platinum or palladium. I'm just saying. No, Cash and Coins. I totally get that, my friend. And you have been a loyal follower of my channel for a while. I really appreciate your comment, my friend. But I totally get that. Silver is an affordable precious metal. Yes, it is. And that's what makes it so desirable to so many people. It can reach a much larger audience being so affordable. Almost anyone can afford silver. It's easy to buy and stack. Yes, it is easy to buy and stack. Try stacking 10 ounces of gold or platinum. I get it. I understand. Trust me. I understand what you're saying, and I totally get it, right? Silver is great for a great many things, right? And I'm not against silver. I stack it, right? I'm going to stack it continuously. But as far as it being in a fad right now, I think there's just a lot of misinformation being spread. I think there's a lot of hype. I think there's just a whole lot revolving around the metal that it's currently in a state where it is the current fad to be stacking silver. It's kind of like any fad that comes around, whether it's clothes, whether it's music, whether it's movies, whatever it is, there's current fads all the time, but they come and go. But with movies, with music, even with clothes to an extent, even when the fad passes, those things still exist, unless you destroyed the clothes or what have you. But the music will live on, right? Music from the 70s, 80s, 60s, stuff like that, it lives on. Movies from the 70s, 80s, 60s, it lives on. It's not everyone's first choice. It's not the most popular thing at the current time, but it lives on. And the same thing with silver. Silver will outlive this current fad it's in, I think. I'm not against it, and I really appreciate everyone who stacks silver. I know you love stacking silver, and that's totally cool, my friend. But I appreciate your comment, and I really look forward to more from you, my friend. So thank you, Cash and Coins. And definitely check out Cash and Coins if you have not. He has a great channel as well. Up next, we have Mr. Alex G. Mr. Alex G says, this video does not go far enough to explain what are the specific demands of supply dynamics working against the silver price today. Yeah, in this video, I just kind of wanted to talk about how it's currently in a fad and what I meant by that, because I think that people might not realize the current fad revolving around silver. And so I wanted to just kind of make this video discussing that and my thoughts on it. But that would be some good information to kind of go over, is specific demand to supply dynamics working against the silver price today. I might do a little bit more research into that and make a video about that. But in this video, I just kind of wanted to make it basic and simple. But thank you for your comment, Alex G. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Mr. John Adams. I've been a silver and gold since 1993. Yep, just a fad. LOL, ridiculous. So, see, this guy gets it. This guy gets it, right? He's been stacking since 1993, and he'll probably be stacking until 2093, right? So he'll be stacking forever, and he understands that there is a current fad revolving around the metal, and I believe, from his comment, believes that the fad won't last. However, I don't think he's going to stop stacking silver altogether. He just understands the differences between a normal market and a market where there is an overabundance of media and everything revolving around silver. So thank you, John Adams. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Rob Nolan. Says, why would you not invest in a commodity a little half less than half its nominal high. Have you not heard buy low, sell high? Have you heard of value investing? So as far as the high, a lot of people like to talk about it's less than its all-time high, so I'm going to buy it. I get that and I understand it, but the all-time highs a lot of times were created from unnatural causes. Silver didn't hit 50 bucks an ounce back in the day because inflation simply drove it up to that cost. It was an unnatural cause, right? I can't remember exactly what the cause was. I believe that was just after the 2008 recession. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but what I am sure of is that high did not last more than a year or two, and it went back down to a regular level. And I stack for the regular levels, right? I don't really stack for the highs. If a high were to occur at a opportunistic point in time and I found an opportunity to make a lot of money by selling, I might do that. However, I don't really stack for that reason alone. And so I'm not saying don't buy silver. I'm just saying if you're going to buy it, stack it, hold it for a long time, at the very least until you can sell it and get what you put into it back out, right? Because the premiums are so high, what does that mean? That means it's going to take longer to recoup your money, right? Because you have to wait for spot price to increase to a level at which you have the opportunity to sell at the price that you purchased it for. So higher premiums means higher waiting. And realistically, stacking is somewhat of a waiting game, but I want to limit my waiting as much as I can, if that makes sense. But great comment nonetheless, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Mr. Timothy Van Dry, said, hater. Well, my friend, I stack silver. I don't hate silver. I just hate the fad that it's currently in. I hate all the publicity it's getting, and I hate just all of the hype that it's receiving, right? I'm not a hater of the metal itself. I believe in it. I believe it has potential, and I believe it has value, and I believe it has a good future. However, I just don't like all of the never-ending hype revolving around it. So that is what I am a hater of, my friend. But thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Mr. Daniel B. Says, agree 100. Thank you, Daniel B. I really appreciate that. Up next, we have Mr. General Stack. Mr. General Stack says, expect you to publish a sincere apology when silver breaks out above $100 and holds the gains. And he has a reply, and the reply says, been listening to that for 30 years. And I mean, this guy is not wrong. This Matt Blanks is not wrong at all, right? 30 years. People have been saying it's going to break out above $100, above 50 bucks. I'm not doubting it can. I just don't think it's going to do it in the way that everyone thinks it's going to do. But General Stack, if you see this video, do you think it's going to break 100 this year? Or do you think like eventually over time at some point, right? Because if you think this year, you and I think very differently. If you think at some point, we might be a little bit closer than I believe. However, I don't see it breaking $100, within the next year or so. At some point in time, maybe, but I don't know. That's just me, my friend. But I tell you what, I will publish a sincere apology if it does break out 100 in the near future, right? Not 20 years from now, not 10 years from now, like this year, right? I will be posting all that stuff. But thank you for your comment, General Stack. I really appreciate it, my friend. Up next, we have Trident Stacking. He says, you may be onto something here. Well, thank you, Trident Stacking. I really appreciate your kind comment, my friend. You always post kind comments. Even if you do disagree with me at times, which I'm sure you do, most people do, you are always kind enough to just post a kind, sincere comment. So thank you, my friend, and everyone should go check out Trident Stacking if you have not. Up next, we have Mr. Jonathan Cabrera says, bad video. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, my friend, but I just wanted to share my opinions and thoughts with you all. So it is what it is. Up next, we have Mr. Bricktown Silver, said he's first. Congratulations, Bricktown. I really appreciate you being first on my video, my friend. And last but not least, we have Mr. Ricky Collard, says, so in other words, you're saying, keep our worthless trash fiat dollars and don't purchase silver or nothing at all. Nothing. A lot of people can't afford to go gold. All they can afford is silver. But you're saying keep your dollar, don't buy silver. You're so wrong. I'm not saying keep your dollar, don't buy silver. I don't think I ever said that in the video at all. If you listen to the video, I told you that I do believe in silver, and I don't really see a problem with stacking it. I'm just saying that for me personally, I'm not buying it right now because of the premiums and the fad and the hype revolving around it, right? But if that's all you can afford, then sure. But buy it, if you're going to buy it right now, buy it with the intent of just not selling it for a very long time. So whatever money you do put into it, make sure it's money that you aren't going to need to see for quite a while, because the premiums do not help in the sense of securing your wealth. They only hurt. Now, they're not as bad as like they could be. Don't get me wrong. They're not like $100 over spot per ounce. You may never see actual appreciation in that level. However, because the premiums are so high, it will take you a little bit longer to see the real appreciation of the silver that you buy. So I am just really cautioning people on buying silver. I'm saying don't buy into the fad, don't buy the hype, but I'm not saying don't buy altogether. You got me all wrong, my friend. If that's all you can afford, buy and buy and buy. But if you can afford gold or platinum, I highly suggest those two metals way over silver at the current time because of the premiums. People think silver is going to blow up. Let's say it does. If it blows up and goes really high, I don't see platinum and gold sitting where they are. Just don't see it. Don't see it happening. It doesn't really happen that way. It never really has. So do they move differently at times? Yes, but not to that extent. No. If silver is at $100 an ounce, gold and platinum are going to be somewhere higher as well. So with the premiums, I say stack the gold and silver if you can, or gold and platinum. If you can't, if you can only afford silver, that's not a bad play. You're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. And make sure you're not buying because that's what's currently in. Make sure you're buying because you know what you are buying. So those are my thoughts and opinions on the comments I received from the silver fad video. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on this video. Do you still disagree with me? Do you kind of understand a little bit better? Did this video help you at all? Let me know them in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. And with all that being said, guys, until next time, we will see you.